Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right, so here we go, part 2. Honestly, this one might not be that great, so it's perfectly fine if a lot of you are critical on this upload because I'm not prepared, I'm not invested, I got a lot of Christmas presents to wrap. I got to make sure that I have everyone accounted for. I'm big on Christmas. I make sure not to forget anybody in the family, my friends, and I always have extra presents wrapped in case you get that mystery visitor. There's always going to be a mystery visitor at your house, and you always want to have something wrapped. Maybe like a tin of cookies, maybe like some gloves or something, some socks, So I'm just all frazzled because of Christmas. But I still got to continue this series. This is going to be part 2 of probably 3 on the Gerard Discord call interview released on Some Ordinary Gamer's channel a couple days ago. And again, he released this for transparency given recent legal threats. Now, I don't know if this is going to be all of it. Maybe there's more that's going to release on Karl's channel. The way they've been doing this is kind of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But with this one, this is going to be part 2 that takes us from maybe around the 10-minute mark to the 27:59 mark. And then I'll leave one more part 3. This is in no particular order. I just took some notes. All right, so Gerard at one point says when he comes back, and I don't know if he got disconnected or disconnected himself. I've never been on a Discord call. I'm sure it can happen. But there was a long wait, maybe like 10 minutes between the time that he was gone till he comes back. Also, a question I have about Discord. While Gerard was gone, could he still hear the conversation that Karl and Muta were having or not? That could maybe change some of my thoughts here depending on if he could hear them or not. Or if they have to bring him in and then he can hear them both. Because I don't know. I've never been on a Discord call. Interesting moment right when he comes back. He says he's basically at their mercy what to do. He's at their mercy. Isn't that nuts? Like Gerard's at their mercy what to do. Then he says he was not moving money, trying to wash it. Earlier he had mentioned Cayman accounts. I'm like, I think I've said this before. If somebody is mentioning that the Cayman accounts and they're not trying to wash the money, which is another way of saying money laundering, then it makes you even a little more curious about what's really going on, doesn't it? To me it does. Like, why would you even bring that shit up? The big moment here was at the 22-minute mark. I wrote it down because it's really important here. Now, I think about that episode of South Park, Chimpokemon. You ever seen Chimpokemon? It's an older episode of South Park where the Asians were saying to the Americans who were very critical of them trying to invade America. They said, "Oh no, we can't invade your big country. Our penis is so." Dang, did I say it? You're not supposed to say those words on here on YouTube. I was so small, so tiny. You big American with big bulbous ones, And then they were all looking at each other like, yeah, these Asians are right, They can't do anything with their little peckers, You gotta have a big one to do something. Why did I bring that up? Because Muta, I wish he would have kept on him about this because they went over this really quickly. This is a key point. If you're doing an interview, just a little bit of criticism, Muta. This is where you had him. You had him right here when you said it feels like he called out some bullshit about the size of the donation, right? It's so small a donation, can't do anything. Muta said basically, if I have $20, you're making me feel, Gerard, from what you said, that it's just pointless if I even donate $20 because it's not making any difference. He asked him basically, so correct me if I'm wrong, you said that you were not going to make a donation because they told you that it wouldn't they didn't even want it, or if it wasn't big enough. It doesn't make any sense. Or I can't remember exactly the wording. Basically, Gerard's whole defense for this, and one of his whole defenses was, listen, I had been contacted by all these different organizations telling me, I mean, it sounds insane, but the way he said it in a way that almost, if you were not really thinking that much, you might even like take it at face value and say, well, that makes some sense, but it makes no sense. And furthermore, he doubles down on it, not only by saying that, but then he says it again. And then Muta asked him, and he said, so they told you directly that your donation, it needed to be bigger. I guess bigger than 600,000. But that's the point, Muta, where you had him. If I was interviewing him, I would have continued with it. But they were trying to be nice. They were trying to be friendly. Maybe the idea was that they didn't want him to hang up the call, which in that case, okay, I get it. Because they were trying to be very friendly. That's probably just a tactic, but because at any moment they could have just called out as bullshit and said, dude, no. But maybe that was a strategy. Okay, I get it then. I get it. Because at this point, it was maybe like 15, 20 minutes in the call. So they wanted to continue letting him hang himself. He's at their mercy. Man. So he admits to moving the money. Right after that, he admits to moving the money due to pressure from them. And this is where you realize that, you probably already realized it, but Gerard never gave a damn about dementia research. This is how you know. He was more concerned at this moment when he got the notification that they would be doing a story on this. He said he was, and he contradicts himself by saying, I'm getting ready to donate it. But I just didn't want to donate it right after I got the letter because then it would make me look guilty. No fucking shit, you fat, stupid fuck. Maybe that was me. No, it's not. The fat, stupid fuck. He's fat. He's stupid. Sorry. Fat, stupid piece of shit. The fat, stupid piece of shit admitted it right there. It wasn't about that. It wasn't about the people that have dementia. It wasn't about helping them with that money. Because if it came over him, what's the word? Conscience. Yes. If he had a conscience or a heart connected to that conscience, then it would get him in that moment and he'd be like, okay, I got to donate the money right now. Like today, I got to figure out, I got to call one of these organizations. Of course, then they'll call him back and say like, listen, we need at least 900,000. Don't be coming up here with this $600,000 bullshit. Dude, we need 900,000. No, that doesn't make any sense. I banging your head against the wall trying to figure that one out. That makes no sense. But you realize in that moment, he didn't care about anything more than his own self-image. He admits it right there. He knew it would be a bad look and he would look guilty. He didn't want to look guilty. So almost it's like he wants to work with Karl and Muta to save his career. Like it's on them. Like it's now their job. He's at their mercy. He's complimentary to them. Oh, he keeps complimenting them a whole lot. But part of that complimenting was him basically, trying to smooth them into helping him out. He's like, what I got to do? Please, I'm at your mercy. What I got to do? You got me. What I got to do? You two are great content creators. No, in that moment, Karl and Muta, they're not caring about him showering them in compliments. They're caring about this money getting donated. They're caring about exposing this as charity fraud, which they did. But in that moment, they care more about it than he does. Supposedly, a guy that cares so much, has the Indyland events because his mom, she had that, and it's so important to him and everything. But you know the deal. But this really enlightened me around 22, and then after that. That's what sticks out to me the most about this. There are certain points of this 48 minutes and 5 seconds that just stick out. And again, I will say go back to the 22-minute mark, because that's the most important here, where he basically tries to pull that out of his ass. He's a piece of shit, but he tries to pull that piece of shit right out of his ass and feed it to Karl and Muta, and they just weren't having it because not a big enough donation. Yeah. Hey, $20, $20, $30, $40. They'll let you donate anything. Yeah, you got to have $1 million, $100 million, whatever, shit. What a fucker.